Unit 3, Lesson 15, Practice Problems number 2. Han spent 75 minutes practicing the piano over the weekend. For each question, explain or show your reasoning. Priya practiced the violin for 152% as much time as Han practiced the piano. How long did she practice? Okay, so we have Han, who spent 75 minutes practicing, and this says as much as Han, which means for A, 75% is going to be 100. Sorry, 75 minutes is 100%. So we have minutes, and we have percent. 75 minutes is 100%. So Priya practiced 152% as much. So she did 100%, which is 75. She did 50%. We could find 50% by dividing by 2. 75 divided by 2. I've shown you guys this strategy that I liked before, but I like to do the even number first. We take 1 away because I know 2 is going to go into 74 evenly. 2 goes into 74 37 times. I know that because 2 goes into 70 35 times, and 2 goes into 4 2 times. That's 35 plus 2, which is 37. Now I have 1 more to make it 75. So I have 1 divided by 2, and that's 1/2. So I know that 75 divided by 2 is 37 and a half. Whoops. 37 and a half. So now we have 100%, we have 50%, we need 2% more. Remember that to find 1% of anything, we just divide it by 100. So here's our 100%. We're going to divide that by 100. Whoops, 100. Divide by 100. And we're going to get 1%. 75 divided by 100 is 75 100ths. Let me write that again. I'm going to get rid of this for some space. $75 divided by 100 can be written as a fraction, 75 over 100, or 75 100ths. Remember that we write 75 100ths. This is like 75 out of 100. So it's sort of like 75 cents, 75 pennies. This is how we write 75 100ths. So 1% of 75 is 75 hundredths. We need 2%. So we're going to multiply by 2. Times 2. If I have 75 cents and then I have another 75 cents, 5 and 5 is 10, 7 and 7 is 14, plus the extra one is 15. 75 cents and 75 cents is $1.50. We're not talking about money here, but it helps me to understand. So 75 100ths times 2 is 1 and 5/10, or 1.5. So now we have 100%, which is 75. We have 50%, which is 37 and a half. And we have 2%, which is 1.5. And we want all of those, 152%. I know that a half and a half is 1 whole, so I'm going to carry the whole. 5 and 7 is 12, plus 2 is 14. 7 and 3 is 10, plus 1 is 11. So if we're looking at 152%, we're going to get 114 minutes. Okay. I'm going to clear all of this. 114 minutes. B says Tyler practiced the clarinet for 64% as much time as Han practiced the piano. We're going to do this one a little bit differently. So we're still doing as much time as Han. Han is our 100%. Again, we have minutes and we have percent. Han practiced for 75 minutes. This is our 100%. We're trying to find 64% as much time. So we can find 1%. Remember that we find 1% by dividing anything by 100. If we have 100% and we break it up into 100 pieces, each piece is going to be 1%. So we divide 75 by 100. We did this earlier. 75 divided by 100 can be written as a fraction, 75 100ths, which we write as 0.75, 75 100ths. This is 1%. We need 64%. So if I know what 1% is, I can find 64% by multiplying by 64. Make some space. So this decimal might throw us off, but let's just think about it as cents. So we'll do 75 cents times 64. I know that we're pretty used to the partial products method, so we're going to use that. We have 4 times 5. We have 4 times 70. And then we have 60 times 5. 60 times 5. And then we have 60 times 70. That's how we're going to do 75 times 64. 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 70. 4 times 7 is 28. So times 70 is 280. 6 times 5 is 30. So 60 times 5 is 300. 6 times 7 is 42. So 60 times 70 is 4,200 or 4,200. Now we have to add these all up. Zeros. 8 and 2 is 10. 2 and 2 is 4. Plus 3 is 7. Plus 1 is 8. No, we don't have to carry a 1, sorry. 8. And then we have 4. So remember we turned this into cents. So that means we have 48,000 cents, which is 48. Remember, we're not actually talking about money, but it helps me to keep track of where this decimal needs to go. So we're not looking at 48,000 minutes, we're looking at 48 minutes would be 64%. 48 minutes for 64% as much as Han, and 114 minutes for 152% as much time as Han.